Ladies and gentlemen of the media, welcome to the Orlando Pirates versus Kaizer Chiefs post-match press conference. We are joined by the away team coach, Coach Stuart. Baxter. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Coach, if you may, just please give us a brief summary of the match from your perspective.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I thought that the first half was well played tactically. I thought we had quite good control of the game, and we weren't doing 100% what we wanted to be doing. But there's another team on the field called the Orlando Pirates who don't want you to do that. So it isn't that easy. But the times that we did, I thought we looked very good offensively. The bit going off was a blow to us. We planned to have Lebo as a false nine and drop a little bit deeper and try and get our quick players, Karma and Kieran, driving inside, challenging their centre backs. And Karma going off, we had to shuffle the pack a little bit. But second half was obviously a different game. Pirates got back into it. I thought in the first half we got a goal. I can't, when Keegan scores, I can't say 100% because I've not seen it again. But it looked a good run. It was what we've been working on. Then Pirates get back in. We make a mistake. They get back in, and then they throw the kitchen sink at us. So we're getting a couple of injuries. We've got to keep changing. And we'd already said that we would change Lebo and Leo at half time. And then Leo getting the hamstring, it had us changing and losing a bit of balance. And with Pirates throwing the kitchen sink at us and working their socks off, it became a battle to preserve what we'd got. But we showed great discipline, and on our corner that we worked on just for this game, that was great that one went in. But then the last 10 minutes, I've just said to the players, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with the way that we managed the game. You know, the decisions that we took on the ball to allow them to deliver more balls into our box. One could have bounced off the post and gone in, and one could have bounced off the post and gone out. And, you know, we were living on a knife edge. So delighted to win the derby, delighted for everybody at the football club, including the supporters. But we have to be better than that. We have to manage games better, and we have to stick to what we've said we're going to do better. But if I can just have one closing comment, it's that Bernard Parker probably gave one of the best performances I've seen of a PSL player today. So talk of him being too old, I think people should absolutely put that one away for a while anyway, because if he plays like that, he'll get in any team in the PSL. Cheers.
Good evening, Coach. Congratulations on the victory. I think possibly on the balance of play, well deserved. Also took your opportunities. Coach, I just want to touch on what you just said briefly, Coach. Bernard Parker, fantastic performance, big performance from him. Coach, what is it that you say to him? I mean, time and time again, he's proven his worth to the club at his age as well. And some of the Kaizer Chiefs supporters are still torn between him. Is he a good player? Is he not? He's old. Of course, he's old. But the performance that he puts in, what is it that you tell Bernard Parker to continuously, give such performances in important games? Thank you.
Well, let me share a statistic first with the people that think he's too old. Bernard ran more than anybody else in the team tonight. He ran over 13 kilometres. David Beckham was praised up to the high heavens when he ran 12.4 against Greece in the World Cup qualifier for England. Bernard ran over 13 tonight. What I say to him, Bernard is a marvellous human being. He's a great footballer. He's a good professional. He's a model professional, but he's a great human being. So you can talk to Bernard on a level that it's not just about firing him up to play football. I think Bernard thrives on stretching himself as a person, stretching himself as a player, stretching himself to be what Kaizer Chiefs need him to be. And if he's sitting in the stand, he will be the best player in the stand. And if he's on the bench, he will be a great bench player. And that's his attitude. So all I do is I try and make sure that he stays in that zone where he can give that sort of performance. It's his credit that he can still give it, because that means that even if I can give a little bit of inspiration, the motivation comes from Bernard Parker, nowhere else.
Congratulations on the win, Coach Stuart. I just want to find out if you have checked with the medical team on Kamabili. We saw him coming off in the first half, and then Leonardo Castro also went off just after less than 15 minutes in the pitch. Yeah,
both of those injuries are very disappointing because, you know, when you work at an elite club, your biggest enemy is soft tissue injuries. And the reason they're the biggest enemies because they are more or less being put out of business now because of our training methods, etc., etc. But we have two players in one game that both get hamstring strains, which means that there's something not right with our loading. So both of them have got hamstring injuries. That varies in time that they're out, but I'm guessing that they won't be training for a week at least. Leo's was a bit worse because it pinged. Karma's was getting worse and stretched, but I think we got him off in time.
Evening, Coach, and congratulations. You seem to know Orlando Pirates' number. Can you please indulge us into the way you set up your team today? It looked like a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. Can you please just indulge us into how you set up your team for the derby today? Thank you.
We played 4-3-3. We played 4-3-3 with Lebza as a false nine because we wanted to bring him short and get Keegan and Karma challenging their two centre-backs with their pace. We wanted him to be a false nine. And as he drops down as the false nine, Jabula would drop in between our centre-backs to give a bit of a three-man, three centre-back build-up, but with a 4-3-3 further up the field. So that's how we set it up. But unfortunately, after Karma came off, that was changed. You know, Bernard went from the midfield role because we wanted Bernard also arriving a little bit more late on, with Pato staying a little bit more, and that balance was out the window because obviously Bernard had to go forward, and then we brought Kieran on. Kieran, I thought, did quite well. He did quite well in that role. It's difficult to go on in the middle of a derby and find your feet, but I think he did quite well. And then when Leo had to come off as well, we didn't have the false nine. We played with Bernard through the middle again as more of a traditional nine. So those were the shifting in betweens, and then we went to a straight flat out 3-4-3. Trying to leave our three up for transitions to wrap the game up, but at the same time having three centre-backs to try and deal with the bombardment that we were getting from the Pirates' back line.
Yes, thank you so much, Coach. This is Nati from Eric GFM in Polokwane. Congratulations on a victory. Coach, what did you make of Brendan Peterson's performance? You saw some nice saves there, especially towards the end of the game. And if you may, do you feel the fans sometimes are unfair in criticizing a player of Bernard Parker? I know you spoke a lot about Parker in this press conference, but if you may, please.
Yeah. Well, Brandon was outstanding. Brandon has been outstanding since he came into the team. And yes, the one save right at the death there, it gave us the win, didn't it? Because that clean through, it's a one-on-one and he makes a save. It's a game-changing save. So that's what he's there for. His goalkeeper coach will tell you that's what he works very, very hard to do. But I think he deserves a pat on the back, a massive pat on the back for the way he's come into the team, and he's really thrown his hat in the ring and said, "I want to stay around." Bernard, look, I know that football is a game of opinions. Everybody shouldn't think the same way as Stuart Baxter, and everybody doesn't think the same way as Jurgen Klopp or Fred Bloggs and the guy at the pizza store down the corner. He's got every right to his opinion as well. But when we look at Bernard, I think even the most ardent Chiefs fan that's maybe had a little bit of we should renew the team, and he's had that, and they've had that sort of desire. I've got to look at Bernard and say that this guy loves Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. He loves being a player. He loves everything about the place. and he puts his body on the line. And I think if for no other reason, they should respect that. So I think Bernard's got no divine right to get praised. Absolutely not. He plays poorly the same as everybody else, and he hears it from the technical staff. But he's so well liked by his teammates. He's so respected by his opposition that I think it would be a shame if he's not appreciated. If sometimes maybe not for the performance on the day, but for the person that he's absolute. If you cut him, he will bleed gold and black. He will bleed. So he's that sort of person. So yeah, I think it's a shame. But again, I don't tell the supporters what they should think. They don't need to think what I'm instructing them to think. They've got their own mind, and that's part of the joy of football, isn't it? Everybody's got an opinion.
Coach, my name is Sobri from TBR Solution Sports Program.
Hi, Sobri.
It's nice to see you being energized today. Well done for the win. Coach, I'm sure you'll agree with me that this win has made you and the technical staff, and probably this will spill over to the playing staff, that they believe that you'll catch up with Sundowns. Like you said prior to the game, that the league is not lost. Am I correct by saying that?
I run the risk of being branded a complete fool and buffoon by saying it. But what I said before going to the game was that we don't know where the two games are going yet. But what we have to do is we have to bring pressure to bear on Sundowns. Now, if we can beat Pirates, which we have, and if we are given those two games to play, it's a potential 6 points. And we have to play Sundowns one more time. If we can beat them in that game and keep breathing down their neck, maybe they'll drop a few points. They're engaged on more than one front, so they know that it's their league to lose. And I'd be a fool to say we are going to. I would say what we are going to do is we're going to breathe down their neck as long as we can, as hard as we can, so that when we actually play them, that it means something. Now, I could also be that we don't get the games to play and we lose our next game and Sundowns win and people say, well, that's it all over. Yeah, that's a possibility too. But as the Kaizer Chiefs coach, and as you rightly say, every win that we get, especially one away from home against Pirates, that prolongs that possibility that we could be breathing down their necks. And we'll do everything we can to do that.
Coach, you just spoke about Bernard Parker. How far are you in extending his contract? Because it's coming to an end. And you just spoke glowingly about him right now.
Yep. Unfortunately, I don't deal with contracts. Well, no. Fortunately, I don't deal with contracts. So I'm usually asked my opinion about certain players, and I'll give that opinion. And then we have budgets. We have budgets to make the same as every other football club. And then the players will be offered contracts based on that. But if anybody asks me, Bernard Parker has shown that he's a valuable member of our squad and will continue to be so.
Hi, Coach. It's David from Mediski Times. Congrats on the win.
Hi, David. Thank you.
The situation could have been different. If it wasn't for the late 2-1 winner from Mato. As you mentioned before, there were two. It would have been different
if we'd have got a goal in the first half with Keegan Dolly. And probably been different if I wore a black suit instead of a grey suit. So are we going to get to a question now?
Yes.
Yeah.
There were two close calls where Dolly was called offside and the Pirates goal. So instead of 2-0, it was 1-1 all of a sudden. What's your opinion on VAR? Is it needed in a league like of the stature of South Africa? Thank you.
I've got to be very careful because I'm not going to be the one man in the country that goes out and slaughters all the referees, and then between now and the rest of the season, I'm the most hated man in South Africa. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that VAR, the reason for VAR was to take some pressure off the referees. So those tight decisions, if you're constantly getting them wrong, your confidence as an official, it must go through the floor. It must do. When you go home in the evening and you see that you've made a massive mistake, that can't be very nice. Same as if a player makes a massive mistake, it's not very nice. Now, to help them make those calls, because we've had a few now, and I've never said anything about referees. I've not gone out in media and said that the referees need to do this or this, because I know it's such a tough job. But when it's happening and VAR is maybe available, then that will help them and take the pressure off them, so they know if there's a big call, it won't be wrong. And therefore their confidence will stay high, and all the other calls, hopefully the standard will raise there. So I think David was alluding to, it could have been a completely different game. If we'd have got that goal, or we didn't get it, Pirates got theirs, and then Pirates' header hits the post and goes in, or Brandon doesn't make the save, yeah, we can lose the game. But it's not very nice to know that, yeah, we could have been cruising at 2-0, but we end up hanging on for grim death at the finish. So without blasting all referees, I'm trying to give an objective opinion there on why VAR, if it's introduced, should be introduced.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, we've come to the conclusion of the press conference with our coach Stuart Baxter. We'll be back in 2 minutes with Orlando Pirates.
Thank you.